But no, I mean, I said 5 months ago, Anthony Edwards needs to get out of there.
Yeah.
He needs to leverage himself to San Antonio at all cost because Minnesota is not a winning franchise. They will not do the right things.
To where? What did you say?
San Antonio.
It's interesting.
It's not interesting. It's the correct thing to do.
Franchise with a winning culture.
Why San Antonio? Just because of Pop?
Wemby?
I mean,
You're gonna pick a 75-year-old guy over Wemby?
they're on two different trajectories right now. I think
How so?
Ant's
They're only
ready to
3
win.
years away.
No,
They're
Ant's,
3 years apart.
Ant's ready to win, though. He's already tasted
I think
that.
Wemby's
He's
ready
not
to win
Wemby's
right
ready
now.
to
with
win.
the Spurs of the next- Of course.
He showed in the Olympics.
Wemby's ready to win. You have Ant ready to win, and people will flock to play there
Man, San
with that group.
Antonio.
In the opener here, the Timberwolves lost to the Lakers here. And my takeaway from that game and game opener is the Timberwolves are in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And I said it first. I'm not a person who said it after just they lose the first game. As soon as they made the trade, and Pink can confirm, I said that they are in serious trouble. Okay? It definitely got worse. I got to adjust this. Now it's a little taller than I thought here. All right.
Exactly.
But, yeah, man, the trade just does not make sense, man. And I know they're banking because they have Naz Reid on such a great deal. They're banking that he can close lineups with Randall or Gobert, but he cannot man the center position the way you need him to. Gobert, and again, they just gave Gobert an extension. Why?
110.
That's a deal you're trying to you're dying until you get to the last year of his current deal, but you extend the deal the bad deal you gave him.
Yeah.
This is a guy who can't close games for you. This is a guy who is a defensive center who you had to take out the game when Jokic was destroying him, shooting 89% field goal percentage.
This is the
Why
guy who
extend
got
him?
This is the guy who got benched by his own country in the Olympic final.
Own country.
For a 20-year-old.
Even the French don't fuck with you.
Anthony
And they got
Edwards.
limited options.
Man.
Anthony Edwards is screwed.
They're like a redneck at a fucking family reunion.
I disagree with the deal for different reasons. I do believe in Naz Reid and his ability to close out games because when you're closing out a game, you're looking more at versatility than you are at anything like size and stuff like that. I disagree with the deal because they were very concerned about the money aspect of it, which to me is a bad decision to make when you're trying to contend for a championship. When you're trying to contend for a championship, this is the moment where you start paying the luxury tax, you start breaking the bank. You have to.
Ask OKC how that worked out for him.
It doesn't always work out, but you got to take those.
No, I'm
those
saying
risks.
OKC made a financial decision on Harden.
Very similar to that.
And they never whiffed the final again.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
I was
Yeah, see what you
affirming
mean.
your point.
Yeah, exactly. So making financial decisions when you are on the brink of breaking that barrier to get to the next level, just making it to conference finals, you're gonna just make a move for financial reasons, and then you get worse.
Yeah, when you are when you are a contending team, you need to be a blank check.
Yeah.
Whatever we need to do,
it's
Malcolm X by any means.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. That's so you
This
said
is why
the
it's
same
never
thing.
worked out for them. Minnesota's been consistently a bad franchise, consistently not able to put together the assembly of player that's needed. There's no reason why they should have never made it to the playoffs with Kevin Love. There's no reason why Kevin Garnett couldn't be used to get them a little further. Conference finals is, okay, but one time is just not enough, with a player who Kevin Garnett was. And now they got Anthony Edwards.
Different ownership, though. Different ownership.
No,
But
not anymore.
consistently
No, Glenn
a bad
Taylor.
Glenn
franchise.
Taylor's still involved.
Oh, really?
Consistently a
Yeah.
bad franchise, regardless of who decided to take the realm.
They passed twice on Steph Curry.
That's why KG
Yeah.
won't let them retire his jersey.
It might,
because
just,
of Glenn
it might
Taylor.
just be in the water in Minnesota, even if they have different ownership.
I
There's
think it's
something in
just
the water.
it's in Glenn Taylor. I mean, they need to get rid of him.
He has
But
control.
I said 6 months ago it's still between him and A-Rod's group, and that's not resolved yet. Which is again, I think, sort of. I don't know who's pulling the trigger on like the Towns trade and all that, because as far as I know, that ownership situation is unsettled.
Wow.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I said 5 months ago, Anthony Edwards needs to get out of there.
Yeah.
He needs to leverage himself to San Antonio at all cost because Minnesota is not a winning franchise. They will not do the right things.
To where? What did you say?
San Antonio.
It's interesting.
It's not interesting. It's the correct thing to do.
Franchise with a winning culture.
Why San Antonio? Just because of Pop?
Wemby?
I mean,
You're gonna pick a 75-year-old guy over Wemby?
they're on two different trajectories right now. I think
How so?
Ant's
They're
ready
only
to
3
win.
years away.
No,
They're
Ant's,
3 years apart.
Ant's ready to win though. He's already tasted.
I think
that.
Wemby's
He's
ready
not
to win
Wemby's
right
ready
now.
to
with the
win.
Spurs in the next- of course,
He showed in the
Rem-
Olympics.
Wemby's ready to win. You have Ant ready to win, and people will flock to play there
Man, San
with that group.
Antonio, I don't think he would like that for his. If he's gonna leave somewhere that's shitty to go to another city that's not that big, I think he would want to go to a bigger market.
San Antonio
Here's-
is much
here's
better
my
than
thing.
Minnesota.
Sure,
Much
like
better.
Miami.
It doesn't matter. This tells us what Ant wants to do with his career. If he
True.
wants to go to an aging Miami nucleus, or he wants to leverage himself to Brooklyn or some other shit town, it's not about winning basketball. That's about somehow being in a big city and whatever.
Yeah.
If he wants to win, there's no better option in his age group pathology to go to than San Antonio and play with Wemby.
Can you be the face of the NBA and play for the San Antonio Spurs?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're winning titles, you
David
can
Robinson
be anywhere.
realistically was for a point.
Yeah.
I don't think David
Hakeem
Robinson was
Olajuwon.
ever the
I think
face
he
of
was
the
he was
NBA.
up there. I don't think Hakeem was at the time.
I think
I don't think
Hakeem-
anybody that's not named Michael Jordan was the face of the.
Well, that's what I'm
correct.
saying. It was
And there's
Hakeem
2
and
years
Michael
where he wasn't
Jordan at
playing.
that time.
But there's no assurance that he's going to be the face of the franchise, and you can't. You have to win to do that. You have to win to have a chance to,
to
do
have a
that.
chance.
He's in that
he
realm though,
go
where
into
But
that
he's
that's.
situation?
not going to win in Minnesota.
Would he go into
And
that
if-
situation to become the second
I'm not
best
saying
player?
he should stay.
I'm going there to win. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about. I can't assure you what he's about. And I mean, I've been a big Ant supporter, but honestly, since
Same.
the Olympics, he's stepped in mud a couple times with some idiotic comments, and I don't
Yeah.
think he's trending in the right direction in that way. I have some concerns, not necessarily so much on court performance yet, but I don't get the vibe of focus and commitment that I want to see from that type of player.
Yeah. Last year
I think
was
we're
different.
seeing that.
Yeah.
So he may be on a path to just kind of do that other route. But to me, if I'm his advisor, if I'm close to him, I said, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
If we want to win titles, put ourselves in the best possible situation, I don't think there's another option.
Is everyone sour on the Timberwolves as far as not being able to make it as far as they did last year?
I just
Yeah,
think they need
I
an
think- I think
identity
they got
again.
worse.
I think honestly though, I mean it's the first game of the season. I'll be the wrench then. I just think they need an identity change, and they're gonna have to figure out the lineups because that Mike Conley and then putting DiVincenzo as a point guard, and he was playing a little bit more time than Mike Conley in like certain
I don't
spurts
think
that
there's
were
a world
necessary.
where Julius Randle as your second best player is going to take.
I
you
don't
far.
think
Right.
I don't think
I
it's
agree.
done by him being the second best player. I think is being done by committee. I think it has to be done by committee.
I don't think the committee has the right members.
I could agree with you on that, but it's just they got to figure out to make it work, and I think
But-
is a possibility they can do that. I'm not going to write them off.
I am.
I am.
They have
I
the
am.
third, maybe the fifth best player in the NBA.
They're not a serious contender with the roster they have.
We'll see.
That's a conversation. Is Anthony Edwards a top 5 player in the NBA currently?
He's not.
I don't think so.
No.
Whoa.
And he's never.
He
He's
really is
not
not.
and never was. But, and I don't think he has the play style. Like with this team, he would need to do like a Allen Iverson, Luka, LeBron thing. But that's not his play style. You know, he's a ISO get a bucket. He's not a system, right? So
Yeah, he can't carry.
He can't. I don't want to say he can't carry
don't think he
because
can.
if he can carry as far as like a Kobe,
can't facilitate.
he has the potential to carry like a Kobe, ISO scorer, Carmelo, things like that. But
But they needed heavy
He's not a
pieces to make
facilitator
that
at
work, though. Like the pieces they had to put around Kobe and Carmelo were big pieces to make that work.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the biggest problem is they don't have good pieces around him right now.
Yeah.
And the way they've kind of made this trade, I don't think that they have necessarily
a
and
funky
the Rudy
roster.
Gobert extension, I don't know that they have the flexibility to do that. So when he has the opportunity to extend or re-up, he needs to go.
Question is last thing I'll touch on it is Randall and DiVincenzo's contract just a 1 year?
That I don't know.
No, they got a couple years.
Randall has
years.
2 years left, and I think DiVincenzo has 2 as well.
Huh.
DiVincenzo is on a good deal though. Solid.
Yeah.
Gobert's not the worst deal. He did take a
DiVincenzo's not
pay
even the
cut.
problem.
Carl's
He
is
opted out
longer.
of his 4th year of his original contract to take the pay cut.
Yeah.
Dante DiVincenzo was the only thing that came out of that deal that was good.
That's the only thing.
It's the only thing. So I don't mind him at all.
I don't think any team with Randall on the roster is winning
Right.
ever.
Carl has like another 4 or 5 years on his contract right now. He has to. 'Cause
I
he
don't
signed
know.
a max
He
with
just
them.
he just signed a max like
Yeah.
recently.
So I think
Yeah.
that was more of an offload move. if anything, because maybe these can be pieces to use to be traded next
You
year.
don't offload the
That's what
win.
we're saying.
Yeah.
When you
Well,
make it to
you
the
don't
conference
offload
finals, you
when
don't
you're competing
offload.
for
Well,
a championship.
you have pieces that make enough money now because the new CBA rules to be used to grab another good player who wants to leave where he's out to come play in Minnesota. But I know your philosophy on this, he should leave. But what if things change and they can go get a player and he wants to go with Ant to Minnesota? That's my logic on it. Because usually when you're making a good team, it takes 2 years. It takes at least 2 to 3 years to like switch up your identity, who you are, how you play, what you're doing. Because that Warriors team that won with the Celtics is a lot different than that Warriors team that won with KD and all
Players
the
may want to play with Ant,
what I'm
but
saying?
players probably don't want to play in Minnesota.
Agree with that.
That's a fair assessment, and again, and that's a good comment you made there too. But like, New York found a sucker in Minnesota.
Yeah,
for sure,
bro.
for sure. I'll give you
I don't know
that.
how many other
got a steal.
suckers are out there that'll take Randall and DiVincenzo in the trade bag
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
the hell else they have willing to trade to get a star player in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I think it's an
Did they even
offload
have their
thing.
picks to make any like worthwhile?
they have their
move?
own picks, but they had to. I know they had to give up a ton to get Gobert. So I'm
I
not
think
sure.
they gave up 4 to get Gobert. So
Yeah, that's what I'm
do they even
saying.
have left?
It's that Gobert just screwed them in a place that I just would not like to get screwed in. So whatever. But
Care to elaborate?